Hi, welcome back to My Cup of TV with Jenny,
JD and Mary.
So, BTS brought out an MV for Merry Go Round.
Ooh!
But it's only on Spotify. But luckily I have that. So
Okay. That will be why I've seen nothing of it then.
Yeah. I was looking for it on YouTube thinking, I know it's out. It's
Mm.
because it's only on Spotify.
Okay.
So please remember to like, comment and subscribe in the comments. If you were picking another song off of the Ali Lang album for an MV, which one would you want?
All of them. The answer is all of them.
I feel like Animals could be quite a...
Oh, I love that song.
I'm thinking that song with the kind of outfits, decor of Blood, Sweat and Tears.
Mm.
There's still this at the bottom, but... it's from Spring Day.
I wish that I could tell you that it's over. I wish that I could walk away from pain. My life is like a broken roller coaster, but maybe I'm the only one to blame. I can't get out this merry-go-round. This thing's really hard. I take my breath, but I can't slow down. This merry-go-round.
It's a BTS support group.
It's like they're all coming back, like maybe like from military one by one.
I wish that I could tell you that it's over. I wish that I could walk away from pain. My life is like a broken roller coaster, but maybe I'm the only one to blame. I can't get out this merry-go-round. This makes me hurt.
Very cool.
I do my best, but I can't slow down.
So we haven't seen our MJ Holy yet.
I can't get out this happens every time. Down, just round and round, I'm falling apart, still bound to the
Damn.
ground. 최소 없는 노래 떨어지니 소리치지마. 너 없이 타만큼 탔으니 please send me out. 순간은 날과 My bad is my coffin. 어쩌면 세상은 너를 cafe.
Standing on the road.
생각하지 말자 생각을 했나. 가는 있어 조각까지.
very cool.
Interesting. Yeah. It's funny, isn't it, how, like you said, videos and visuals can make you feel something different.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I would have felt that from just the track anyway, but there was a slight sadness for me more with the video. And obviously it's like they're the horses because it was their shadow.
Yeah.
That they're the horses and they're stuck on the merry-go-round. And I think the point of what you said about their dance, like basically stand on the grave, is like the only time we can get off is when we're dead, unless we do something about it, you know. So there's a slight sadness, but yet like what you said with the group, I joke saying it's a BTS support group, but obviously it is because they are their own support group, and there's probably no one else will fully understand their own lived experience. Even other idols, every idol group has their own experiences, right? So they'll have some camaraderie and understanding of each other, but only BTS will understand their exact journey. So they are that support group, and only they understand each other, and it's potentially quite isolating and lonely.
Well, I was thinking during like I said, where they were together, and it's like there was all the doors, and it's like if you think of it in a military sense, they all had to go their own ways, and then they get to come back. And when they've gone their own ways for military, the door is closed on BTS for that moment. You know, it's not like when they do solo work and they're both. It was one or the other. And like you say, the merry-go-round, the idea of being on it and keep going around and you can't get off. You could say that about the military because they don't have a choice. And it's not like you can go for a bit and then leave. You know, you are stuck in that until...
And the whole point of the horses on the merry-go-round is for other people to ride them. Other people to... They are the entertainment for other people.
And I also felt, again, if I... You know when you've got a certain lens, which is now for me the links to military, and then you see everything through that lens. Yoongi, he was in the eye of the storm. It was all the shit was going on around him. And it's like... what happened with him with the scooter incident. And he's in the military, so there's only so much he can do, and all that was going on around him. And he's just there. Like I say, stuck in the middle. I can't do anything.
Interesting.
And like Jim was walking, it's like the darkness was following him. And I wonder whether...
That was the pressure, wasn't it?
The pressure, because he was first to go. First
he's
to come
the
back,
oldest.
the oldest,
So it's the pressure that he couldn't escape it, and
And
he had that burden when the rest of them were away. He was the first one to keep it going.
I think he took the burden of going first, and then he took the burden of keeping things going whilst everyone else was gone. And I think that obviously we know the horses are for the merry-go-round, but when I look at horses, especially in media, I usually think of the imagery of wild horses in America. You know, they're so free.
Well, they are until they're broken, and then they're workhorses.
And they're not. So it's like, you know, when they were either side of the curtain and you had Jin and Jimin both looking at that horse. It's almost like they were looking at freedom.
Possibly.
Knowing that it wasn't an option in a way.
Interesting, because I took it as that they were backlit and it was they were there. So that was their shadow. So they were the workhorse. But both could be true. Because when they were standing and they were isolated, and it was almost like they were next to each other because the camera was going through, but they weren't looking at each other, so they were very isolated. Whereas when they were in the support group, they were so, that was the only time you saw them smile. They were so happy.
And J-Hope was in the room, wasn't he? The grass on the floor, and the horses, almost like the fake freedom.
Oh manufactured.
Because let's be honest, if we talk about freedom in a sense of just being able to live your life, they're never gonna be free. Because even if they said tomorrow, we're done with BTS, I'm done with being an idol, I want to go live my life. It's not.
It'd be a lot of work for them to be able to. But I mean, and I think that they have spoken about this in different lives over the years. I know RM has. They knew that was a potential sacrifice, and they were willing to do it. I think the thing that may have changed is, I mean, whenever you do something as a hobby and then you do it as a job, it does change because all of a sudden it becomes obligations. It's very different. But I think that like what they've said over the years, and interestingly, it's almost like they could only start to try and change it by being those trailblazers inside, is the part of the industry where they feel like they no longer belong to themselves, because it's like we're idols and we have this parasocial relationship which is amazing, but when the fans or the companies start to think they have more ownership over them
Yeah.
than their own autonomy, that's the where it tips over and goes, no, I didn't agree to this, and
Yeah.
we're trying to fight it. We're still saying, well, we want to do what we love, because a lot of people say, well, if you don't like it, don't just leave. Why should they have to make that choice? They want, and they've got something to say, and they're wonderful artists. But I think that's the bit that maybe naively from the beginning they didn't realize the weight and the potential toxicity that they were going to get, because I know that they were aware.
Well, I think they never believed they would
No,
be as big as they are.
That's it, because I know that they were aware from the beginning that there's certain elements of privacy to a certain degree that they would have to give up and sacrifice, and they were okay with that. But I think maybe not to this level. And it's so interesting again how much you can get just from, because again, there's language barrier there. Some of that is in English, some of it's in Korean, but the interpretation of what it makes you feel. And although it's a beautiful song and I'm so happy that they were together, equally I'm so sad, and there's a real tinge of sadness in that song.
I like the connection of the carousel being the one from Spring Day.
Yeah.
Just nice little Easter eggs.
Yeah. And again, they probably have to remind themselves of that with each other, you know, and it's that balance of sacrifice, because they want to entertain and they want to be of service to their country, to their fans, everything. But at what point does that mean they don't get anything for themselves?
Yeah.
Is that fair? You know, that kind of thing. Yeah. But really good, really nice visual for the song.
Yeah.
I like the fact it was all black and white. And I'm sorry you put any of us in that lighting and we'd be like, oh, but they look fucking gorgeous. It was so, it was like that grainy artistic.
Yeah.
Because you can't hide in that lighting. There's, you know, that lighting's going to be
Everyone was
unflattering.
looking
But they were looking fantastic.
JK's fluffy jumper. Tay sitting in that chair.
Yeah. And it was like the use of the shadows and the light and the dark specifically.
Well, like you said, that bit where they were sat together and they were so happy, it really made that distinction between everything else when they were alone and they weren't.
Yeah. That was the only time they were smiling. Any other time they were very serious,
saying that, not even
somber,
unhappy, but
pensive.
Yeah, concerned. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see it wasn't their comfort zone, almost.
And it's I don't know who said it or if it's in like a poem, but there's a phrase of people say, it's when you're alone, that's when the shadows can creep in. So it's almost like with that.
Yeah.
Just, be interesting. But yeah, really nice. Cinematography.
Yeah.
Really nice. Like,
and do you know what? If this becomes a thing that, because it said Spotify and BTS, so whether like they fund a music video or something like that, I'm saying I'm all for it. If it gets us more content.
Yeah, why not?
Because it was good quality, do you know what I mean? It didn't feel like we've got to do this quick thing for them, the sponsor.
No, it literally was
an
a
MV.
real,
Yeah.
Okay. But equally is this also in the theme of their Arirang album and them sort of that rebirth and taking ownership on that next chapter, and then what we're seeing from them in the concert as well, getting their confidence back, getting back in their zone, and being unapologetically themselves rather than not being so concerned about consequences where sometimes, you know, so maybe that's almost like part of that kind of poetic rebellion that they're doing in this album as well. It's part of it.
See what else it kind of reminded me of, just sitting here thinking about it. The way that it's in black and white and all the door frames and the lighting. You know those things, you see them in horror movies. I think of it as like in The Conjuring, they have one. And it spins around and you look in and the thing, and there's like a picture and it moves. Do you know the thing I mean?
Like a kaleidoscope?
No, because it's like, I just think of the one in The Conjuring. It's almost like a little lamp or something, and you press it and you look through the thing.
Oh, and it
And
makes
there's, like,
a
the
shadow.
image, yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Just some of that made me think of that.
Yeah. But again, that's really interesting, isn't it?
Because it goes round.
and it's for one particular view. It's one perspective, and it's for it's everything's built, manufactured for someone looking in for your entertainment, rather than the reality of what it's like for the characters in there if they were real.
Do you know what I mean? There was just something about that triggers something in there.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it's almost like you're looking into something like it's a secret, kind of intimate, but then that's taken away.
Yeah,
interesting. Like they had no privacy.
Yeah,
you know.
Okay. Lots to unpack with that one.
Yeah, nice though.
For something that could be viewed as so simple.
Oh, never BTS, never. Yeah, thought provoking.
This is why I could never hang out with RM. He'd say the simplest sentence and I'd be like, what do you mean by that?
RM's one of my alts, but I could, like, in the fantasy world, I'd be like, no, I never marry you, dude, because I'm not smart enough to have a conversation with you. You'd be like, what do you think of this? I'm like, it's really pretty.
So that was our reaction to BTS Merry-Go-Round MV. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Okay.
Bye.